A standard commercial retail lease allows for a methodical, multi-week build-out to prepare a space for 5 years of trading. Pop-up and event retail takes that entire occupancy lifecycle and compresses it into a fraction of the time. Packing a maximum brand footprint and concentrated foot traffic into a 48-hour window generates extreme wear patterns. Spaces accumulate dust, adhesive residue, and concentrated floor abrasions at a rate permanent shops do not experience. This accelerated physical wear creates an immediate financial vulnerability, governed directly by the Retail Leases Act 1994 in New South Wales. This diagram illustrates the mechanism of that vulnerability, the Make Good Clause. This legal stipulation ties the leaseholder's security deposit directly to returning the venue to its exact pre-occupancy baseline, connecting physical surface damage directly to financial liability. Failing to satisfy the precise specifications of this clause allows venue management to apply damage charges and withhold deposits, turning a profitable pop-up event into a net financial loss. Executing a successful turnover requires a logistics and chemical remediation operation engineered specifically to satisfy strict legal mandates. Building a resilient turnover model requires working from first principles, establishing the exact regulatory boundaries, executing a sequenced chronological timeline, and applying precise surface-specific material science. Mastering this tripartite system removes the risk of penalty charges and provides the leaseholder with a documented defense for their security deposit. Any compliant turnover operation begins long before a cleaning crew is dispatched. It starts by mapping the strict regulatory perimeter of New South Wales. This graphic outlines 3 compliance pillars. The Retail Leases Act dictates financial risk, where baseline deviations trigger deposit losses. The WHS Act controls operational risk, requiring SWMS protocols for chemicals. EPA NSW governs environmental risk, mandating waste tracking for solvent disposal. During a post-event teardown, a single action, like dissolving a vinyl floor graphic, simultaneously triggers the Make Good Clause, requires WHS protocols, and mandates an EPA manifest. Executing remediation without satisfying all 3 regulatory pillars simultaneously exposes the leaseholder to catastrophic liability and voided contracts. To manage that complex liability, the operation must be broken down into a strict chronological timeline consisting of 3 distinct phases. Phase 1 is the pre-event baseline. This step establishes the absolute legal perimeter of liability before a single customer arrives. This time-stamped correspondence highlights the critical WHS necessity of photographic documentation. Capturing the condition of every surface locks in the baseline state and prevents the leaseholder from inheriting pre-existing damage. During this tight pre-opening window, crews must also apply rapid dry cleaning agents. This ensures the floor meets AS 4586 slip hazard standards the moment the doors open. Phase 2 shifts to active event maintenance. Once trading begins, high footfall concentrates standard retail wear patterns into a matter of hours, requiring continuous intervention. This operational matrix dictates maintenance frequency. A full-day market requires hourly perimeter checks, while an extended multi-week installation shifts resources toward nightly deep cleans and air quality management. For rapid sanitation during trading, crews deploy electrostatic sprayers. The charged mist coats high-touch surfaces evenly, disinfecting without leaving wet residue that causes slip hazards. Operating these sprayers requires non-negotiable safe work SWMS protocols, dictating proper ventilation and personal protective equipment. Phase 3 is the post-event strip, which functions as a technical teardown and substrate preparation phase. All branding, modular walls, and temporary vinyl wraps must be completely dismantled and removed from the venue before chemical surface restoration can begin. Adhering strictly to this 3-phase timeline ensures that the physical reality of the space constantly aligns with the legal boundaries established at signing. Moving from timeline logistics to the microscopic level, this map highlights the diverse surface remediation requirements across Sydney's distinct venue types. Taking a macroscopic view of the polished concrete utilized in massive venues like ICC Sydney, we see a surface that demands precise chemical balance. Sealed concrete is highly vulnerable to acidic etching. Using the wrong detergent will strip the finish entirely, mandating the strict use of pH-neutral cleaners. When heavy foot traffic inevitably causes scuff marks, aggressive grinding will permanently damage the floor. The mechanical solution requires light burnishing with low-speed micro-abrasive pads to restore the finish. This split screen breaks down the chemical process required for heritage structures, such as those at carriage works. Heat guns applied at medium temperatures soften heavy vinyl layers, exposing the stubborn adhesive underneath to orange-based solvents. This sequential protocol removes layers of synthetic adhesive without stripping the porous finish from original heritage timber and stonework. The third major substrate challenge is temporary rental carpet, heavily utilized in multi-use spaces like Barangaroo. This schematic details the required extraction protocol. Treating temporary carpet requires adhering to the AS/NZS 3733 standard, utilizing 120-degree hot water extraction. The critical metric is keeping residual moisture strictly under 20%. Exceeding that threshold in a rapid turnover setup invites mildew and permanent biological damage. Applying the wrong chemical or mechanical protocol to these specific substrates is the fastest, most common way to trigger an immediate, irreversible financial penalty under the lease agreement. Zooming out from these microscopic chemical interactions, the result is a fully restored venue ready for final handover. Perfect physical restoration holds no legal weight without the corresponding documentary proof required to close the liability loop with venue management. These digital records, the Make Good Certificate and EPA waste manifests, provide the certified compliance necessary to prove the leaseholder has met all environmental and contractual obligations. This unified system functions through sequence and precision. Rigorous timeline protocols translate highly specific chemical actions into definitive legal protection. By enforcing these standards, high-frequency venues across Sydney can host back-to-back events continuously without accumulating compounding structural damage. Relying on hope for a clean space is a strategy that leads directly to heavy financial penalties. Professional event turnover protects the leaseholder's security deposit and brand reputation by documenting that every physical action matches the venue's legal requirements.